Hi Nuri, so we've got another set of essays from you. It looks like it's your last set of essays. Let's take a look at what you did here in this fifth set. So we've got the map. Alright, here's what you wrote. Okay, that's it. The maps illustrate the arrangement of buildings and roads in not the certain island. That's a little awkward. Let's fix that. So the maps illustrate the arrangement of buildings and roads in a particular island before and after development. Better word choice there. Overall, it is clear that the island has considerably developed and been complex by adding various facilities and roads during the period where several trees are removed. All right, you've got some awkwardness of expression here. It's just not natural English, so let's kind of point out where the problems are. Been complex is the wrong word, and where several trees are removed is also awkward. That's where you kind of lost it here. So let's see if we can come up with something better. Overall, it is clear that the island has been developed considerably. Get rid of this. By the addition of various facilities and roads during the period, whereas, one word, several trees have been removed. Okay, you could have said something like that. Or alternatively, you could have said something a little more general. You could have said that overall it is clear that whereas the island pre-development was empty of any sort of human intervention, following development it has become a location for holiday and for holidays and for I don't know, inhabitation, maybe a word like that. Okay, so that's something you could have said there. All right, moving on. To begin with, in the center of the island, 3 buildings not are, but have been constructed, because it started in the past, but we don't know when, so we just say have been, which are linked with each other by the footpath or the vehicle path. Okay, not the, because there's not just one of each. There's multiple footpaths and vehicle paths. Just say, which are linked with each other by footpath or vehicle path. No article necessary. Also, 6 new accommodations are installed. You know, you don't install accommodations. You build accommodations. You construct accommodations. So install is the wrong word here. In the west of the island, and the footpath which leads to the beach is crossing. It's not something that happens temporarily, but it's something that happens all the time. So it crosses. Present simple. On the other hand, in the east of the island, there are 8 new accommodations which are surrounding. No. I don't really care for that. I mean, it's kind of like you're saying, well, the houses are in a round pattern because they surround the vehicle path. But I think it's the other way around. I think it's more logical to say that the vehicle path is in a round, I can't say really a round shape, but the vehicle path is in a circular, I don't know, forms a circle because it is in the center of the accommodation, which is, you know, kind of everything is grouped in a circle. So some sort of expression like that, like change that around a little bit. In addition, the pier is constructed newly in the south. Awkward. Again, it's as if you're saying the pier is constructed now, and you don't mean that. So, in addition, the pier has been constructed in the south of the island, which is linked to the center of the island by footpath. Also, in the east of the island, there is a lake compared to the past. All right, that's a little awkward. I can't tell you that I'm crazy about this paragraph. One way to do this, I think, is not start in the center as you did, but to start from the left and then go all the way to the right. So you start with this accommodation, you start with those 3 buildings in the middle, then you talk about the pier, then you talk about the accommodation, then you talk about the lake, maybe you mention those trees, and then you're done. For me, a big problem with this description is the fact that you didn't mention anything about the island prior to development. You didn't mention it at all. It's as if this doesn't exist at all. Okay, so I think it's really important. Since it's there, it means they want you to discuss it. So you should have made some mention of what the island looked like beforehand. Also, in both images, you've got this scale, so you should probably refer to the scale as well. You could say that the island is over 200 meters from east to west, and at like maybe 110 meters at its like widest point. You could say stuff like that, but you didn't. So you didn't mention this at all. It's as if you completely ignored half of the map, and you didn't mention the scale, which I think you should have. For me, the biggest problem, though, with this is your expression. I mean, some of it is awkward. Some of it just doesn't sound like natural English. And so I'd like to see you working on more maps and doing more work with that, okay? Let's take a look at your task 2. Okay, Nuri, so now let's take a look at your task 2, which is the one about green energy. All right, here's what you said. Many countries of the world have debated over the last few decades whether the usage of green energy has more benefits or not. Although it is a common belief that depending on green energy can be dangerous, I strongly believe that green energy is the best alternative way to generate energy. All right. You know what's missing for me here? A little bit of cohesion. And we've talked a lot about cohesion and how you can create cohesion not just between sentences, but within the sentence itself by using some pronouns. So look at this. You've got green energy twice in the same sentence, and that's what I want to avoid. You also had green energy in the previous sentence. So in 2 sentences, you've got the word green, the expression green energy twice. So let's see at least one of these times what you could have done to make it less obvious that you've got the word repeated 3 times. Okay, let's try it again. Obviously, you can't change it here, but let's see. Many countries of the world have debated over the last few decades whether the usage of green energy has more benefits or not. Although it is common knowledge that depending on this new fuel can be generated, not this new fuel, but maybe this new you know what? How about depending on renewable sources? That would have been good. Renewable sources. So, although it is a common belief that depending on renewable sources can be dangerous, I strongly believe that green energy is the best alternative way to generate electricity. So, you see that? All I really had to do was just get rid of one of those instances. I used a synonym. You could have possibly used a pronoun as well. So, although it is common belief that depending on this can be dangerous, you could have done that as well, okay? So, on the one hand, it is undeniable that there is a possibility of green energy to bring serious results, such as the interruption of the supplement of electricity. All right, you've got some word choice and some expression problems here. So, there is a possibility of green energy bringing serious, you don't mean results. You see, this is the wrong word here. Such as the interruption of the supply, not supplement. So it's a couple of different word choice errors. Let's fix it one more time. On the one hand, it is undeniable that there is a possibility of green energy having serious impact, having a serious impact, such as the interruption of the supply of energy, or even better would be such as the interruption in energy supply or electricity supply. I even prefer that. This is largely because the research into green energy technology is still in the early stage of development. Get rid of the. You could have said early stages, plural. So, expecting the exact amount of generated electricity is hardly impossible. That makes no sense. What does that mean? Expecting the exact amount of generated electricity is hardly impossible. You're saying that it's not impossible to expect the exact amount. So you mean something else here, but I don't know what you mean. So this is an incoherent sentence. According to a recent empirical study conducted by Oxford University, the stability of green energy technology is merely around a third of that of conventional resources such as fossil fuels. Okay. You're supposed to be talking about energy security here. Yeah, you did. But you really only said that it's because green energy technology is still very young. And then there was a sentence I didn't understand at all. And then you talked about the stability is only about a third. That didn't make sense to me either. Are you saying that the available supply of green energy is only around a third of that of conventional energy? That would be a different story altogether. But then you also need to wrap it up and say that, therefore, it is clear that renewable sources of energy cannot meet the demand that exists for electricity, making it unstable. So something like that is what you needed here, something to kind of wrap things up together and make it make sense. Nevertheless, I support the idea that green energy can help people to do, no, you don't do sustainable developments. That doesn't make sense. You need to rephrase that. To begin with, in terms of environment, green energy is much more eco-friendly than conventional methods. For example, if we generate energy by solar energy, no, if we generate electricity by solar energy, fine, then we can reduce the amount of pollutants up to 85% compared to the current amount. On top of that, when it comes to price, green energy is more reasonable and affordable in the long run. Although the construction of infrastructure for green energy needs a lot of money, once these are installed, then people can generate electricity almost for free. This is due to the fact that green energy resources such as sun, wind, tide, and wave, I think is what you mean, not tide, are renewable and easy to get. I don't like that word get. It feels really way too informal. Are renewable and easy to obtain. Much better word. To conclude, I firmly believe that the usage of green energy has numerous advantages, more than, that doesn't make sense. Maybe we need a comma here. More than any other way to make electricity. If we continue to try to develop more completed techniques, I don't like that expression completed, I don't know what you mean there, it will lead to a better future for individuals and society. Okay, that's fine. I think I've been pretty clear about what some of the strengths were, what some of the weaknesses were. For me, it was really a problem of some of this expression. Some of it just came off really awkward and not really very natural sounding English. So those are some of the things that I want you to work on, and things that I think are not quite 100% ready. So it's an essay that still needs work. As far as the organization of your paragraphs and the structure of the essay, all of that is good. So that's great. There's definitely been a lot of development here. But like I said, as far as the language and the expression, some of the naturalness of the way you express your ideas, that needs work. So this, I think this is your last essay set. I think it's what we said in the beginning. I'd like to see more essays from you. I want to see you continuing to improve, and I'd like to see more progress from you so that we can say with, reasonable certainty that, you know what, yeah, you're going to get that score you need. So let's see if we can sign you up for some more essay corrections, all right? I really encourage you to do that, and I hope I get to see more of your essays soon, so good luck to you.